Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and it is time once again here to have a look at our Profit Retriever profits over the past 4 weeks. This is the weekly review where we are always having a look at the last 4 weeks. We are looking back to see which currency pairs, which index, which metals are the best ones currently to trade. That is definitely what we do in order to review our constant live results. We are taking a look at that particular Excel every single week and then adjusting it from there. And this is definitely also an option for you if you want to do this, or if you actually want to start trading the Profit Retriever. It might give you a good idea of which currency pairs are the ones that work the best on this particular EA. So let's get started, and why not start with the top 5 results for the past week. We are talking about week 31. The top 5 EAs here has a bit of a mix this time around because again, we see both index and we also see a metal that hasn't been in here for a while. We are actually talking about the silver. But let's start off with the number 1 position, the Aussie Japanese, number 2. Now, this has been a very strong signal for a very long time. It went into a bit of a drawdown here lately, but look how it came back, $1,489, 14.9%. So absolutely astonishing result for that particular week. Great to see, and obviously it might be a bit lower for the next weeks, but that is definitely a good start, and welcome back to the top 1. Euro New Zealand, $436 or 4.4%. And then we have the silver in here, which is nice to see this one back on track. We don't have it on the top 10 yet, but obviously if it continues with those kind of results at $355 or 3.6%, it should be back in the mix very, very soon. New Zealand USD, $333 or 3.3%. Also here, extremely stable at the moment. And then we have an index, the FTSE 100, also back in the top 5 of the week, $327 or 3.3%. And again, if you would have traded those top 5 here, EAs, in the past week, you would have made $2,940 or 5.9%. Now, you can obviously find a lot more details on our website. We always keep the last 4 weeks, including this particular one that you have just seen here now. We have it on our Profit Retriever website. And we also have the last 4 videos, the one you are watching now, plus other ones that we have in here, always to make sure that you can see the development of the Profit Retriever overall. And obviously, all of the videos are available on our YouTube channel as usual. Now, on top of this, we also have the monthly results. So also here again, we are posting them constantly. And we also provide you access with the Profit Retriever portfolio. These are the 25 EAs that we are currently trading. They are running by themselves all the time here in different index, metal, and currency pairs, as I mentioned here to you before. And on top of this, we also have some guidelines here that what we think, how you should be trading and how much money you should be trading the Profit Retriever with, so that you don't have to lie awake at night or blow your accounts. But we're here again to have a look at the top 10 results. So let's go and have a closer look at our Excel. So our Excel looks pretty much as it always does. One of the first things that you might notice here is that the top 10 actually remains the top 10. It was last week, and again this particular week. There's only a bit of a mix-up in between them. Some have gone forward, some have gone slightly backwards here. But there has been no room for any of the new signals, but the race is extremely tight. I think all the way down to number 15 or 16 here. All of them have made a total sum of more than $800 in the past week. That is how strong our individual signals are. But let's have a look at the number 1. So basically the first part we have in here is the Aussie Japanese number 2. This is link 129C, and it was number 8 last week. You can see why it has a major jump, and also why you saw it here on the top 5, week 31, $1,488 and total sum of $2,416 has basically put it in the lead with a huge jump here in week 31, and obviously also 24.17% over the past 4 weeks. Absolutely massive. Now Euro New Zealand is number 2 in here. It was actually number 1 last week, but had to be pushed down because of this Aussie Japanese week 31 being so entirely massive. Link 36C, as you can see here, has some constant nice profits coming in. It hasn't been below $400 in the past 4 weeks, and that also makes up the total sum at the end of the 4-week period here of $2,034 or 20.34%. So definitely one of the most stable and high performing results over time. Now Aussie Japanese, we also have the second one in here. Don't forget that these two are different setups that we have. This is link 98C. It was number 4 last week. Also this one has moved a bit forward. But again, it didn't have a good week in 31st, but it did have it in week 30. So obviously again here with the two different settings, it takes advantage of different parts in the market overall, but still comes out at $1,889 or 18.89%. So definitely they're all up there. Now in number 4 position, so down from number 3 last week, we have the US Swiss francs. That has been going quite well. Link 36, also here it had a massive week in week 28. And after that, it has come down a bit. And as you can see, week 31, fortunately, it didn't make anything at all there. It has been in a slight drawdown, not a massive one. But again, when some of these currencies absolutely just go sideways, it cannot cash in. It can't even go into higher drawdown before it then will recover. But still, it has made $1,477 or 14.78%. We do believe that because of the high number here in week 28, that will go down the list definitely for next week. Now the last one in the top 5 is the Aussie US dollars number 2. This is link 99C. It was number 2 last week, but also here in week 31, as you can see, it had a bad week of just $8.48. Still, it has had some very nice results, $800, $395, $211 in the previous weeks, still making up $1,416 or 4.16%. So definitely it is still on the move, but obviously it needs to pick up the pace if it's going to stay in the top 10. And if we have a quick look at the top 5 over here, we can see that all of them are within more than $1,000 over the last 4 weeks. And if you would have traded those top 5 in here over the 4 week, you can see the results below here, $9,234 or 18.47%. This is the second highest we ever had on this particular series since we started off. There's only one time where this has been bigger, and that was actually back in April. And actually the first time that series here went live. So definitely very good and very high results. Now number 6 on the list here for this particular week is the US 30. And that continues to stay in the number 6 position, even though also here week 31 was not really the best one of it. But don't forget, we have seen before where the index goes into a bit of a drawdown and then comes back the next week again with even bigger profits. And overall, you can see it had some very nice weeks, $300, $773, $257, and with the $18 here, hopefully we will see more in the next week. But it made up $1,351 or 13.52%, so definitely not slacking off. The second part is also an index. This is the FTSE 100 that you saw on the top 5 also here. You can see how that has been developing, link 101C. It was number 5 last week, but has moved down a bit. And again, not because of week 28, because it did quite well, 648. Then it had a week that was only at $100. Then it was in a drawdown for week 30. And then, as I mentioned many times, then it comes back again, 327 overall. Still manages more than $1,000 or $1,076 or 10.76%. So definitely a strong signal. But as with all indexes, you have to wait a week or two and then it will come back in profit. That is what we have seen so far. Number 8 is the British Pounds USD. It has moved forward just a bit, link 73C, also a very old one and a very stable one. We can see that continues also to cash in quite well. And even though week 28 was the lowest one of $18, since then it has picked up again, 281, 369, 275, overall $944 or 9.45%. Also here extremely high for a number 8 position. Number 9 is New Zealand Swiss francs. That has also been doing quite well for a long time. It is one of our newer signals, 143C. It was number 10 last week. It has moved up, and you can see also why, because it is very, very constant. $216, $82, $339, $219, and overall $858 or 8.58% when you look at the 4-week review here. The last one in the top 10 was down at number 7 last week, and that is Link 142C. Also here, it creates a good stable income, even though you also have some dips here, similar to week 29. But apart from that, it is cashing in a couple of hundred on average, and average basically over the 4 weeks has been $849 or 8.5%. So definitely having all of them, the top 10 in 8.5%, just shows how strong the profit retriever and the profits is at the moment. Now, if we have a look at the individual weeks also, we can see week 28 was a very, very good week with $4,433 in between those signals, or 4.43%. Week 29 was definitely down on profit, but still they managed $2,726 or 2.73, and then it came back again here with a very good profit in week 30 and ended up with $4,058 or 4.06%. And now we have week 31, which is at $3,096 or 3.10. So you can see the waves are going, but roughly we are in the area of 3,500 overall. But let's put the sum together, and we can see that we have now the second highest number. If you would have traded these 10 accounts in the past 4 weeks, you would have made $14,314 or 14.31%. And that is definitely something that we like, because these results here are more or less stable all the way through. Rightly so, the stability is what it's all about here with the profit retriever. And we are showing also the last couple of weeks that you have on screen here now, exactly how it has been developing. So for week 30, we had 13,000. That was last week. Week 29, 11,000. 28 and 27 was 10,000 each. So basically trading 10 accounts, you would have maximum reach, or at least minimum reached $10,000 every single month, which means you could either have taken that out or you could have invested in another account. And that is obviously also an option where you can basically compound your profits, adding more EAs all the time, which then again, hopefully will provide a bit more profit. Now, obviously, we mentioned here before that it was only the second largest. So we had to look through all of our individual videos to see which one it was. And it was actually when we launched the series itself, because a lot of people wanted to have a bit more information on how the individual currency pairs, indexes, and metals are developing and which ones they should actually trade. So we have made this particular video in here. And as you can see, the first week was absolutely astonishing with 19,000, just having a look at the last 4 weeks review. But since then, it has been good and it has been stable. And as you can see also here, that the same currency pairs can be traded week on week. You should definitely not try and basically move them around on a daily basis or even on a weekly basis. Give them time, even though they will be in a drawdown, they will also come out of it again. And obviously that is what this Excel exactly shows you. Now, this is not trading advice. This is not investment advice. You and you alone, of course, are responsible for your own trading. This is only a bit of a help on the data that we have, that we simply collect into this particular Excel here. So all the data and information actually comes from our FX Blue account that you can also go to on our website and learn a lot more about the profit retriever, how you can trade it. And if you don't want to trade it yourself, then you already saw that there is copy links here also that you can basically go in, link up with, and then let somebody else actually do the trading for you. So I hope once again that these details and information has been valuable to you, and I hope to see you on one of my next videos. Bye-bye.